Fast forward 6 months, and now I own 3 e-bikes and an acoustic bike. So, what went wrong? If you consider having more bikes going wrong, that is. In this video, I'll tell you the story. Late last summer, I decided to sell all of my bikes apart from one. The one I kept was an acoustic touring bike. I sold all of those so I could replace them with a single e-bike. A single e-bike that would do everything for me, from fast-paced club runs through to touring. How naive was that? There's a link to a video about my thought processes in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I'm an engineer, and because of that, I do like to do a bit of analysis. However, I quickly came to the conclusion that for what I wanted, one bike probably wouldn't do. So I needed to get more than one e-bike. As I had an impending tour of Spain, I decided to concentrate on getting a touring e-bike. And for that, I eventually purchased the one I'm on today, which is my Specialized Turbo Vado. It's actually quite a nice e-bike. The only trouble is it is very big and it's very heavy. Great for touring, but for those faster club runs, it really wasn't suited. The good news for me was around about the same time, I'd been promised a free e-bike. That was a Giant Road E. That would have been great for those faster club run type rides. However, after a while, things went quiet and I was beginning to think I would never get that free e-bike. Because that doubt had come into my mind, I decided to go onto eBay and look for an alternative. And I found a Giant Road E Plus from 2022 for sale. But because I was a little uncertain about this free e-bike, I decided to put in a lowball bid. If I got it, that would be great. If I didn't, perhaps I would just wait for that free bike. Once the auction had finished, I found that I was the highest bidder. But because my highest bid hadn't reached the reserve price, I didn't win the bike. Oh well, I thought, I'll carry on looking. And then a day or two later, I was contacted by the seller who asked me if I was still interested. We negotiated on the price, and in the end I paid the maximum amount that I had bid, and that came to just under £700, including postage. Because I had paid so little for it, I wasn't expecting it to be in great condition. However, when the box arrived about a week later, I found the condition was actually quite good. There was one problem, and that was with the front brake, and there's a video about that in the top right hand of the screen. I mended that front brake. I also made a few changes. I put some gravel tyres on and some mud guards, both of which were supplied with the bike. I added some riser handlebars. Once I had made those changes, it rode quite nicely. I used the bike for about a month, and then I received a message saying the original free e-bike was now available. The bike was a Giant Road E from 2016. It had a giant sync drive motor, which worked very well, and a 400 watt-hour battery, which again would charge fully. It also came with a 4 amp charger, which meant I could charge the battery quite quickly. I could pick it up when I visited Gloucestershire during the Christmas period of 2024. The equipment on it was Shimano Tiagra, so fairly decent equipment. It was a bit heavier than the first Giant Road E Plus that I had bought. As it was free, I decided not to look the free e-bike in the mouth, so to speak. So that's how I ended up with 3 different e-bikes. I have the one I'm on now, the Specialized Turbo Vado, that I'll use for cruising around and for touring. I have my Giant Road E Plus from 2022, which I'll use for those faster club runs, mainly during the summer. And I have my Giant Road E from 2016, which I'll use as a winter bike. Yes, I'm a decadent owner of 3 e-bikes. Oh, and what about that acoustic bike? Well, I still have that too, and I use it occasionally. However, most of the time I use one or other of my e-bikes. I must admit, despite having 3 e-bikes, I still hanker after that Mondraker Dusty that I mentioned in my first video. However, for now, I'm just going to carry on using these bikes and see how they go. Despite only being a few minutes long, this video has taken several hours to record and to edit. So if I may ask you to spend just a few seconds of your time hitting the thumbs up button, that would help me and the channel out greatly. Thank you. Consider subscribing, because I may talk more about those e-bikes again in the future. I'm happy to receive comments in the comment section too. But if you do leave a comment, if you could leave a cake emoji, that would help satisfy my greed as well. If you want to contribute a bit more than just a free cake emoji, you'll also find a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Anyway, from me, for now, until a future video, it's goodbye.